Darren Smith, which resulted in me having my first successful audition. My least successful audition was about however many years back. I did an audition for The Crow with Alex Proyas. Well, yeah, not so good for me, not so good for me. I went and did an audition for Fun Boy and found myself in a small room off a stage and with a dream, and I had a horrible audition. I was reading for Fun Boy. I did a sex scene with a male right in front of me, which it wasn't a bad thing, but it threw me off a bit. And Alex Proyas was in the background, producers in the background of this small room, and I lost my shit completely. And so when I got the opportunity from Joe, I was able to go back, and I had an amazing audition with Repo, and my audition composed of me with a mirror, basically. I had no idea Paris Hilton was going to be in the audition. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know. I went into the recording studio in North Hollywood where we did all the vocals for Repo, and basically was sitting there in between the studio room, the isolation room, and the waiting room, and I had my mirror beside me and going over my lines of my audition, and I didn't know, and I heard a tremendous commotion, and through the doors, Paris Hilton walks by after her audition and says, "Hey, nice to see you, bye." And I was like, oh, okay. Do I do what I'm going to do? So I walk in and do my audition. My audition was explaining where Pavi came from, who Pavi was, and at the end of the audition, I knew that they wanted actors that could sing. They didn't want singers that could act, so I had a little bit going with me, but again, I had Joe, I had Terrence, and Darren Smith, who were kind of voting for me. And the last thing of my audition was, I had my mirror throughout the whole thing, which is my Wooby, my little teddy bear. And I said to everybody in the audience, I said, "You want to know who Pavi is? You want to know who fucking Pavi is?" And I turned the mirror to the audience, and I had a picture of Paris Hilton in the mirror. And that raised the roof, and I literally left that audition, even if I didn't get the part, I left that audition doing the Mary Tyler Moore, throwing my hat up in the air, because it was like I really nailed it, and it was an amazing thing for me. And so I guess what I want to impart on everybody is you know, a dream for me. I've had two dreams in my life. One as a child was sitting there listening to AM radio and kind of going, I wish I could sing a song in a studio, and I got that dream. The second dream was to be in a makeup chair at 5 in the morning, which I read in Monster magazines. Everybody bitched about. Actors were like, God, I had to be in the makeup chair for 4 hours. And it was my fantasy, a masochist fantasy. And when I talked to Joe, you know, Joe kind of set me up with all this. And you know, again, I want to thank you. I thank him every time I see him. So thank you very much. And I found myself in Toronto through serendipity, you know, following my dream. And with that 5 o'clock call in the morning to be picked up, not because I was important, but strictly for liability, because they don't want you to get hurt in a movie set, and taken to the makeup room and turned into Pavi, which I appreciate to this day, and you know, I can't tell you. And thank you all very much for coming out. Without you, Repo wouldn't have survived. And it's much the same. I know a lot of things about cult music, and cult movies are the same. They don't survive without an audience. And so thank you very much.
That audition kid really was, like, he's kind of underplaying it. It was a phenomenal audition. I mean, it really was.